go. Hello.
Yay!
Welcome.
Hello. I know it feels like it's been forever.
Welcome to the show with all three of us. If you're watching on YouTube,
Introducing our little friend. What are we
um,
calling him?
PP.
Oh, that's Peepee. Love
That's
it.
PP. He's PP fam, holding the EMF, I guess.
hmm
But yeah, for the listeners, he's my little ghost plushie with an EMF tied to him so that the camera can see the EMF as well.
Yes. I feel like we've been saying we were going to do that for a long time, so we're finally doing it.
And it'll be extra creepy for me because he's behind me and I'll only be able to see him through the camera. Fun.
It'll be great.
Yeah. Speaking of, we have had an occurrence. The other day, it was me and Mickey chilling in the room. I was on this couch. Mickey was
hmm
behind me on the bed, and the door was like cracked open, but like
hmm
angled to the point where I couldn't see outside. And then he just freaking he was laying there like knocking out, and then all of a sudden he like, gets all alert and starts
Oh,
growling at the door and
oh
like
shoot.
looking at the door, and I'm like, what's going on?
Mm.
And as soon as I got up to like go look, he jumps off the bed and starts sniffing right in front of where the exit to the door, like of the room. And
Oh
he's just like
shoot.
sniffing, 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 like he just saw something there. And I'm like, what the hell, dude? Because like if he's barking at someone at the front door, he runs off. So,
Yeah.
but he was just staring out the door, growling. And when I looked, there was nothing there, and there was no one home.
Ooh,
So that's fun.
lovely. Sounds like a grand old time.
Grand. But yeah.
Who, wait, was it blinking right now? Oh no, I think it was just like a little flicker.
Oh yeah.
Just like a, hey, we're here.
Our local cryptid James is on the Mac over there, so the lighting might
Ah,
be changing here and there.
okay, I see.
Hmm.
Well, hello to James. I know he can't hear me, but hello to our cryptid James.
He'll hear it in
He'll
the
hear this.
episode.
Yeah, I was like, he'll hear it later. It's cool.
Right. But yeah, a very I guess appropriate story since we are talking about ghosts today.
Yay!
A
I'm looking
classic.
forward to this one.
Yes, it might be a long one because I know my story is long.
I think
And
I'm at like, I think last I checked was like 10 pages.
oh wow,
And then
yours
after
is
that,
way
I was
longer.
like, yeah. I didn't think it was going to be so long. And I mean, it could just be like, because I moved it from like my notes onto Microsoft Word, Microsoft onto Word so that I could
Onto my Windows 99
oh
floppy disk
God,
computer.
right? Shit, mine was 95 from when I
Damn.
remember. Yeah, growing up. But yeah, I moved it onto here just so I can like have a better view of it and I can like read it out.
Hmm.
Um, because yeah, on notes it was so compacted that I was like, this is so
Mm.
much. And I thought like, oh, maybe if I put it on here, it'll be like less intimidating. But then
Hmm.
I saw the number of pages and I'm like, wow, that's a lot. It didn't feel like that when I was researching it though.
Hmm.
So I don't know, but either
Yeah.
way, here we are.
I forget how many pages I said mine was. I just remember it was long and I did not expect it. And a lot of it was ghosts. So I was very happy with
Yeah,
it.
nice. I'm back, beer in
I
hand.
I know I'm over here drinking my water. This was a birthday present. I did not pay for it. My big old Stanley.
Nice. I
Um,
should be hydrating, but I'm like, nah, not today.
no, I'm like, well, if we're going that route,
Cheers.
I'll do it for the camera.
hmm A little clink. I can't get a clink here. There we go. Clink.
Wrong. It was the cork.
Oh,
Ooh, I do not drink. I tend to drink that on ice. So that was a burn.
yeah. Nice and warm in case you were
Yum.
cold, which I highly doubt you were, but let's
Right.
pretend.
Let's pretend. Well, after this story, we'll be getting all kinds of chills. Ooh. No. But yeah, we're doing haunted colleges, university, schools in general, right?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. So I decided I was just looking around And I found like, like top 10 most haunted colleges and all that stuff. And I found Gettysburg College, which I figured would be so haunted because Gettysburg. And I
Right.
was right. So, Gettysburg College is a private liberal arts college in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. It is well known for its strong academics as well as its reputation for having one of the most haunted campuses in America. So, yes,
Wow.
very haunted. The
Spooky ooky.
the 225-acre campus is adjacent to the Gettysburg battlefield and has about 2,600 students, so it's a small college with
Hmm.
roughly equal numbers of men and women. That's just a fun fact, I guess, that they decided to put in the facts.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's like right next to the battlefield.
Ooh.
And for some history first, Gettysburg College was founded in 1832 as a sis.
Intruder. No, I'm
I
just kidding.
saw that. I was like, ghost.
It's okay. Chris, we're gonna have you sign a waiver later. I'm just kidding.
All right. But yeah, so it was founded in 1832, so it is quite the old college as a sister institution for the Lutheran Theological Seminary. The latter is now a campus of the United Lutheran Seminary, so it used to be religious. The
Mm.
college's original name was Pennsylvania College and was founded by Samuel Simon Schmucker.
Schmucker.
Schmucker reminds me of, is it the jam or the jelly? Schmuckers,
I was
Smuckers.
literally gonna say the same thing and I choked on my spit from I'm like, a smookers, a
It's
smuckers.
Smuckers. Oh my God, I forgot about that commercial.
Hmm.
That's that's an
With
old
the old
one.
man.
Mhm.
Dude, I
If
used
you
to
know,
quote
you
that fucking
know.
commercial all the time.
Oh my
One of my faves.
gosh. That's hilarious. I'll be sure to add like a clip of that commercial on like the Instagram or something.
Oh yeah.
Paranormal Plunge Pod. Go follow us. But anyways, in June 1863, southern Pennsylvania was invaded by Confederate forces during the Gettysburg Campaign. Many local militia forces were formed around the area between Chambersburg and Philadelphia. Among these units was Gettysburg's 26th Pennsylvania Emergency Militia Regiment, or the PEMR, because that is a long name, composed
The
most
Pemmer.
the PEMR, composed mostly of students from the college and seminary. The 26th PEMR was mustered into service June 22nd, 1863. So they put those college kids
Dang.
to work. Ford,
1863.
yep,
That feels
way
like
back
forever ago.
when. Yeah, I remember that. I was but a wee child.
All right.
Yeah, I wasn't even there yet.
That was in my early teens, actually. I'm just kidding.
You're like, ah, yes. What is it? I
I
remember
am an immortal
chocolate.
being.
Right. What is
Sweet,
it? You were
sweet
out there with
chocolate.
who was it? Jasper Cullen.
Oh yeah. Battle scars. Oh, I can't.
But yeah, so they were mustered into service, and 4 days later, the students saw combat just north of town, skirmishing with advanced units of a Confederate division commander, Jubal A. Early. So if you're like into the Civil War, I guess this is the episode for you.
Dang.
Casualties were light on both sides, but about 100 of the militiamen were captured and paroled, which I'm like, paroled, like, like just let go or something. And I looked it up,
Yeah.
and in this case, it means the captured men were conditionally released on their oath of honor never to return to battle. So they literally
Wow.
said, if you promise not to fight in the war again, we will let you go. And they just trusted that they won't go into war again, which is,
Okay.
I
I
mean,
guess.
I'd just go home. Sure, I'll take that. I'm like, I don't want to get caught.
Hmm.
But yeah, so during the Battle of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania Hall, also known as Old Dorm, so the college, was used as both Signal Corps station and a field hospital. So this college was a military hospital, you say.
Wow.
Due to the geographic position it held, it was used by both Confederate and Union troops at different points. So
Hmm.
it housed both at different times. On November 19th, 1863, college president Henry Louis Botter gave the benediction at the ceremony opening the soldiers sent naturally. Oh my God. Sorry, it's old-timey terms and it's just so much. There was a ceremony for the Gettysburg Address, and the president of the college went on before Abraham Lincoln when he did the
Okay.
was it the four score?
Four score and what is it? 30 years ago?
I
I
did,
don't know.
wasn't it four score and like 7 years ago? We are
I
not
don't know.
historians. We do
Oh
not know
no.
the Civil
We are
War.
not historians. We are not Civil War
Was
enthusiasts.
was that even the Gettysburg Address that we're talking about? That was it,
Yeah,
right?
right?
Okay, I'm just because what watch it not be
I'm like, should I
that.
look it up?
Shit.
This is embarrassing. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not a historian. I'm not a, no, I don't know.
No, we're not history teachers. I did not know
No.
Abraham Lincoln, unfortunately. He is
We
not
are
here with
not even
us.
slightly educated.
Right. But yeah, so he gave the college president gave a benediction, which I guess is like an invocation for divine help, blessing, and guidance. And usually they do that at the end of a worship service, but I guess since they're going to war and it was a religious college, they had the president of the college do that before the president of the United States went on to do his speech.
Oh,
Fun fact, I
wow.
guess. Well, very boring fact,
Right?
I gotta be honest, but
I mean, at least it's somewhat interesting. It's
a
like,
fact.
it's a fact.
PP fact. But yeah, so classes were canceled at the college, and students and faculty walked with the parade to the cemetery to hear the now famous Gettysburg Address. They did it at a cemetery. This walk,
Oh, interesting. See, now that's an interesting fact that I did not know.
yes, yeah, I would assume maybe they already had some fallen soldiers there, and so they were like, to remind everybody, hey,
How
I'm not a
morbid.
historian. No idea. They're like, this is where you may end up if you don't do your fucking job, guys. Like,
Like
motivate.
Abraham Lincoln literally like just stood on top of a pile of dead soldiers and was like, four score.
Oh no, I was thinking on top of a gravestone or something, on like a
Both are bad.
mausoleum.
Okay. I mean, both are bad. They just
Horrible.
got him a podium.
Probably.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't
Prop
know.
them some dead soldiers. They're kind of just like,
Like in Weekend at Bernie's style. That's so bad. We're so bad. Horrible. Cancel
no,
the whole episode.
so bad.
Cut. Cut.
We're done.
Honestly. This walk was later recreated for the now annual tradition of the first year walk. So I guess everyone does this walk from the college to the cemetery every
Yeah.
year. But yeah, so Botter was the president of Gettysburg College from 1850 until his death in 1868. So what is that, 18 years? Not long, but
Yeah.
long. But yeah, so to reiterate, the school was a makeshift hospital during the Battle of Gettysburg. According to civilwarghosts.com, great website. When the South took control of the college, students rushed to the aid of soldiers wounded in battle. Every hallway and room within the college was occupied by an estimated 700 Confederate soldiers. So
Whoa.
all wounded in some sort of way. So that's just crazy.
Yeah.
Henry Watkins, class of 1864. So you probably knew the guy, Lizzie. Look at
Yeah. Oh
that.
my God, we actually dated for a little while, but I got over him, it only lasted 2 weeks. And then I was
He-
like, bye.
You're like, you weren't there for the Gettysburg Address, so I'm not into you.
I'm not interested.
No. Do you have Abraham Lincoln's number though?
I actually talked to him a little bit, after his address over the dead corpses and
Oh
everything.
God. Didn't we didn't we reference being George Washington and Abraham Lincoln at some point in past
Yes.
episode? Why do they keep coming back?
Hey, I was Abraham Lincoln in a past life, and I dated myself because that's just me.
That's a very Leo thing to do for a Libra.
In a past life, I was a Leo. That's why we get
I
along so
believe
well.
it. I'm like now I've got a question that I don't want to look up. I'm like, what was Abraham Lincoln's zodiac sign? I managed to look up his zodiac sign. Any
Oh,
guesses?
uh, I want to say he was, I want to say he's like a Capricorn.
He was an Aquarius.
Oh, okay.
And
I'm not that far off, right? Like, isn't that the next one or
no,
something?
I can I'm not sure. Probably. I think so.
I'm not sure actually.
We won't know. The world may never know. But no, actual fun fact, there have been five Aquarius presidents, and scholars frequently rank three of them among the top 10 presidents of all time. So apparently they're great
Wow. Leave it
presidents.
to the Aquarius. Just one other reason for them to be like, yeah, don't
Yes.
forget about us.
And this is according
No offense to
to
all the Aquarius out there.
the Aquarii.
The Aquarii.
This is coming from smartpolitics.lib, in case y'all were wondering. But yeah, so we're doing a tangent. The top three best Aquarii presidents apparently are Abraham Lincoln, February 12th. This is his birthday, in case you're wondering.
Oh, okay.
Franklin D. Roosevelt, January 30th. And Ronald Reagan. I don't know about top three for Ronald Reagan, but Ronald Reagan, February 6th.
Interesting. I don't
Yeah.
know.
And then
I
William
mean, the first two
McKinley.
for sure. I don't know about I
Reagan.
don't know enough about him though. I
He's
really don't.
controversial to say the least. But yeah,
I know that far, that much.
and then the other two are William McKinley and William Henry Harrison, in case y'all were curious. And
Hmm.
another morbid fact, so closer to a PP fact, four of the five died in office, with the fifth nearly assassinated in 1981, and that's Reagan.
Wow.
So not looking good for Aquarius presidents.
No.
If you're Aquarius and you're thinking of running,
Maybe
you
don't.
have been warned.
That's wild.
One
That
Aquarius
is an
somewhere,
interesting PP fact. Thank you.
right? What a tangent that has been. It's
Seriously.
like we'll read his birth chart next. That's next episode, Abraham Lincoln's birth
Oh
chart.
God, just like all the president's zodiac signs.
Oh my God, that could be its own podcast. Imagine one
Seriously.
president an episode or something.
Mm-mm.
So
Just like
tune
all the
in.
people in politics.
What is it? Tune on to my spin-off podcast, I
Oh
guess.
God.
Presidential birth chart.
Where your
Someone would be
co-host
into it.
Abraham Lincoln and Washington are like,
No, you don't understand. I'm going to be dressed as George Washington, and whoever my co-host may be will be Abraham Lincoln.
yes,
Maybe James. What? I don't know. I'll rope him in.
wonderful.
The one guy who's like, I don't believe in astrological charts.
Yeah,
Great
right.
co-host. But anyways, Gettysburg. Your ex-boyfriend Henry Watkins, class of 1864,
Oh
recorded
yeah, that's
that
where we were.
recorded that from anywhere inside Gettysburg College and at any time that the shrieks, prayers, and moans of the wounded or dying could be heard.
Ew.
Jeez. For a month after the Battle of Gettysburg, the college continued to serve as a Confederate hospital and prison camp for captured Union soldiers and officials.
Mm.
Surgeries also continued well after the war, taking place in Penn Hall and the surrounding fields while the dead remained scattered outside.
What?
In case
Like
you
they
were
weren't
wondering,
even being buried?
there was too many of them. I've heard that one in the past. So they were just kind of making
So they
do
do
for,
have piles of men out there.
yep.
Ooh.
So in case you were wondering, sorry. Now my dog's barking. But yeah, in case you were wondering like why this place is one of the most haunted, there's a hint.
There's a reason why.
Yep. But yeah, so
Jeez.
yeah, it's intense. But yeah, at the close of the battle, nearly 22,000 wounded soldiers remained on the battlefield. These troops were treated at the outlying Camp Letterman Hospital or nearby makeshift hospitals in houses So a lot of places in Gettysburg I know are haunted, including houses, churches, and other buildings as well. Dead soldiers on the battlefield totaled 8,900, with contractors hired to bury the dead that resulted from the war. So there you go. They did have to hire out a lot of help
Oh,
to help bury them. I know if they could identify them, they would try to get them home as well. I think this was around the beginning of like the whole mortuary. Hey, we need to figure out how to preserve these bodies to be able to bring them home. Learned that one in mortuary school.
fun fact.
Fun fact. Learning about your co-hosts today. One is immortal, one was almost a mortician. Anyways. But yeah, and
Gosh.
that's pretty much it for my history. The rest
Okay.
is ghosts. But yeah,
Yay.
so to this day, visitors, students, and faculty report paranormal activity. Penn Hall, if you remember me mentioning that earlier, has been noted as one of the more active spots. Numerous
That's where they
people,
had the surgeries, right?
yes, and all the moaning
Okay.
and the wailing.
Yeah.
Numerous people have reported hearing the moans and cries of young men.
Mm.
One
No, thank you.
Yeah. One report came from a couple of college administrators back in the 1980s who were, this one's like the story that everyone knows. So like it's famous. But yeah, so one report came from a couple of college administrators back in the 80s, 1980s, who were walking to the lower portion of Penn Hall. They took the elevator down. When its doors opened, there stood dozens of apparitions dressed in hospital attire tending to fallen soldiers.
Oh no.
It gets better, or I guess worse. The spirits then, in unison, looked up at the administrators who quickly ran away and found the security guard. When the three of them returned, it was just an empty room. So a
Ooh.
bit of backroom shenanigans too, the elevator opening and it's just like
Yeah.
everyone's there and they all just look at you. Like they all looked up
Ugh.
from what they were doing. I don't like
Mm-mm.
it. I would
Mm-mm.
drop out of college that day.
I just feel like I'd be standing there, but my soul would have left my body. Just like
Honestly, like in the
whoosh,
cartoons where it just comes out your
literally.
mouth. Like
Hmm. Hmm. You're just
uh,
like
you're like,
right into the
bye.
ground.
You're like, I'm about to join these guys because I'm about to have a heart attack and die. So
Hmm. Yep.
but yeah, years later, a couple was retold this story by a complete stranger and was saying that they know all about it because the person who experienced this was a friend of theirs who went to Gettysburg College. But after
Mm.
further details were given, it turned out that the story the couple had was actually a whole other encounter. Like this guy was like, "Oh, I know the people that happened to," and then like was starting to give details, and they're like, "Wait, no, they're this person." So that just it goes to show you that it's happened to multiple different people.
Wow.
It's like, what? But yeah,
Ooh,
and like, confirming that yeah, there's some shit going down at Penn Hall specifically at the very least.
jeez.
And then ghostly soldiers are a common sighting at Gettysburg College, but one particular location is home to a spirit of a different type, one that we all know and love, known as the Lady in White. Of course, there's a lady in
Ooh,
white.
always.
Yep. Her dwelling place of choice is that of Glatfelter Hall. So she's in a different hall. But yeah, so her story, like that of many other ladies in white, is that she lost her love as a result of the war and committed suicide by jumping from
Oh,
Glatfelter's bell tower. Just,
oh
like she was so
no.
heartbroken, she just jumped. Lore tells that whoever looks into her eyes will end up meeting the same fate as her. So do not look
Oh,
into her eyes.
yeah, don't look. Mm-mm.
Mm-mm. Another popular tale is that of another ghost who is in Penhall. referred to as either the Lone Sentinel or the Lookout. So already a
Hmm?
creepy name. This ghostly phantom is often seen carrying a lantern and a rifle, as if still carrying out his duties on patrol years later. So he's just like guarding. Give me a
Wouldn't that
second.
suck? Is like you died doing a job, and imagine you hated that job, and you're like, great, now I'm stuck doing this for the rest of eternity. Like, can I
Honestly,
quit? Can I put in my 2 weeks, please?
right? Like, I wonder why he's still there. Maybe he was lookout and then he died doing his job and he felt like he did such a shitty job. He like decided to stay there forever or something. I don't
Aw.
know. But yeah,
Maybe he
so
was on the lookout for somebody that never came,
and then she jumped off
and
the
he's still
tower.
waiting. Oh, no. That'd be so
That's so
sad.
sad. We can make
I
a
know.
movie.
Oh, for real.
Write this down.
I'm sure there's already a bunch of movies with that plot
There
line.
has to be.
Yeah.
But there is the CS General who has appeared in the campus theater on several occasions during final setup for plays. He is usually reported sitting on a chair on stage or in the first rows of the audience. Students on the campus of Gettysburg College are likely to encounter the apparition. Yeah, the apparition of a. Okay. So yeah, there's that guy. I didn't split the story, so it mushed.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so yeah, like there's the general who likes to sit in the audience and just watch you rehearse. Creepy.
Oh,
But there's also an apparition of a Civil War soldier standing guard on top of the cupola at Pennsylvania Hall. I think a cupola is like a little teeny balcony, but it's indoors. I think.
yeah.
The
I thought they were
ghost,
like the inside, like almost like the,
like the
what would you call
fancy
that?
theater seats kind of a thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
like
think
the
so.
box, you know,
Yeah.
kind of.
All I think
Okay.
of is the old guy Muppets. They're always sitting up there and like talking
Yeah.
shit. I love those guys. What are their names? I think they're Statler and Waldorf.
Oh,
Don't
I
quote me
wouldn't
on that.
know.
But anyways, they're called Lizzie and Celeste. Anyways,
Yes.
the ghost, who is thought to be a signalman from the time when the Confederates held the college, often aims his rifle at students on the ground. And over the years, a number of alarming reports of a gunman on the tower have been investigated by the campus security, only to find that the locks were secure and the tower was empty. So that guy's just giving people heart attacks left and
No,
right.
thank you.
No, especially with the way things are in the US. I'm like, mm-mm.
Yeah.
Dude, that's inappropriate.
What century are you living in?
Ah, get with the times. But yeah, so John, a student who graduated from Gettysburg College in 2004, told the Gettysburgian, which is the Gettysburg College school newspaper. So this is John talking. He says, "You know how everyone here has their own ghost story? Like during everyone's time that they are here, as in students or teachers, they have some kind of experience with a ghost or weird occurrence like that."
Ooh.
And then John describes an encounter that took place when he was working as a secretary in Penn Hall in 2003, recounting. And this may sound familiar. I took the elevator, and when it opened, there was a full working Civil War hospital in the basement with like
Oh
lights,
no.
people walking around working, soldiers. I swear to God, I just looked at it like it was a movie and I just stared. The elevator doors shut. So he was just like, and then the door's like,
Yep.
I
Oh my God.
I stood there for a minute and hit the open button, and when the doors opened, it was a regular basement. Nobody ever heard of anything like that or saw it too. I swear though that this happened, John says. So like I guess when he told people they're like,
Wow.
"No."
Yeah, it hadn't happened yet or something.
Weird. But yeah, so I guess it's just be careful taking that elevator because one day you're gonna open it and it's gonna be a hospital.
Jeez.
And
I
then
mean,
there's
kind of cool, but like,
still fucking
no
creepy.
thanks. Yeah, like the idea of it sounds cool, but then like actually that'd be terrifying.
Hmm. Uh,
Okay.
During field hockey preseason last year, I was the only one living in Stevens Hall, said senior Amanda Schlager. One night, I heard footsteps down the hall and above me. When I looked around the next day, there was no one else in the dorm. So she was just alone in the dorm and she heard all these footsteps.
Uh,
So it almost reminds me of your story a little bit because, all the movement. Oh,
yep.
speaking of movement, but yeah.
You know what's funny? That went off and I can hear like a little glitch in my ear.
Oh,
It was like, zzz,
and it did
zzz.
it again right now. That's right when we're gonna like close off.
I
I
know.
was about to
Okay.
be like, okay, let's take our break, and they want their break too.
I know. Okay.
All right,
Well, at least
so
it's chilling. It's not doing anything crazy right now.
I know I'm not even looking at it through like the my camera. I can see the light on like reflecting off the
Oh
laptop, and
yeah.
that's where I saw it blink because it's like right next to your face.
Oh,
But yeah, so I'm just like, fun.
back.
Cool. Welcome. I just now saw that
Mm.
there's a pause recording feature that we could have used.
Hold on. Is that just on your end?
Well,
Yeah, huh? I
yeah,
think
because
so.
I'm the one recording, but once you hit it, there's a pause and a stop, and I'm just like, I could have just done that.
Yeah. Well, now we know.
Yeah, but during said break, I got a whiskey.
Ooh, nice. Well, cheers.
Cheers. But yeah, so Amanda Schlager was haunted during field hockey, apparently. So I believe there's
During field hockey?
oh, the during field hockey presentation last year, she was the only one in the hall, you know.
Oh. I
So
was so
during
confused. I'm like, wait, is this another story?
the ghost was just on the field with them, tackled the
She was just
guy.
chilling there.
No, but there is yet another ghost that I am about to introduce. So
Mm.
Stevens is famous for being haunted by a ghost named the Blue Boy.
Oh.
Yes. The legend goes that one freezing winter night, a few girls snuck an orphan into their room to help him stay warm.
Mm.
When a house mother unexpectedly came in, they shoved the orphan onto the third story window ledge. I didn't mean to laugh. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess they don't want to get in trouble, so they're just like, just stand on the ledge.
Oh
Uh,
my God. Did he fall?
when they went to let him back in, he was nowhere to be seen. It was never clear what happened to him, but the apparition of his blue face pressed against the window, as well as strange noises throughout the dorm, have horrified residents ever since.
Oh my gosh.
So
Poor
maybe he
thing.
froze. I don't know. I don't know how long they left him out there for, you
Yeah.
know, which I'm like, they were trying to do something nice, but like there was no closet or something you could have put him
Right?
in.
Throw him under the bed? I don't know.
Yeah, right. Like in a big one of those big dresser cabinets. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, they agree. I just saw it blink when I said that. But yeah, so yeah, poor little guy. And other students have described ghostly encounters in their first year dormitories. So just doesn't matter what dorm you're in, you're haunted.
Oh wow.
But yeah, and then
Fun.
here's another quote from someone. I was sound asleep one night last year in Huber Hall or Huber Hall, I'm not quite sure which. And I woke up to my alarm clock going off, beeping 12 beeping 12 even though I didn't set it.
Hmm.
So midnight. When I pulled the cord out of the wall, the clock didn't turn off. So it kept ringing. And
Gross.
this was a story by Joe, a Gettysburg College incoming junior that wishes to remain anonymous. So he's just like,
Well,
just
Joe.
call me Joe.
Right?
Oof. Dude, speaking of I guess my brain played a very mean trick on me. When was it? Literally day before yesterday.
Hmm.
Because I woke up. like I assume it was right after James had left. I woke up because I usually do. And then like I went back to sleep. But I when I went back to sleep, I had dreamt that I didn't, go back to sleep. I dreamt that I checked the clock and it was 8:10 in the morning. And, I started work up again. That's when I should be already in work.
Yeah.
So I was just like, oh my God. And then I fell back asleep in said dream.
Yeah.
So then I woke up actually again later, but by myself to no alarm. So I woke up, thought about that, and like panically looked at my clock to see what time it was. It was 6:10 in the
Ah,
fucking morning.
jeez.
So I had dreamt the 8:10 part, dreamt that I fell asleep after the 8:10 part. So I literally woke up thinking, holy shit, it's probably noon. I'm
Oh my God.
screwed.
Can you
Like
imagine?
there like I know call no showed. Oh my God. 6 in the fucking morning. My alarm I beat my alarm. And I'm
I
just
hate
like,
that.
are you fucking kidding me? Like, yeah, that
That was me
was
this morning. I woke up stupid early for no reason.
mm, yeah, and then
No,
you're
thank
just
you.
there.
My ear fell out. I'm just
Bro.
kidding.
Was it
It just like plopped
Arnar?
right out. Oh
Whoops.
no.
But yeah, so there was Joe. Oh, speaking of, okay, tangent number two. Sorry, it's because Joe made me think Joe Goldberg, which
Oh
made me
God. Okay.
remember, you know how James is always being told he looks like people, like
Uh-huh.
celebrities. The
Someone did
server
not tell him.
we went to Top Golf and the server was like, getting our beer order and then she just like gives him, the look where
Hmm.
they recognize them and she's like, "Has anyone ever told you?" And I'm like, "Oh, here it comes. What actor is it gonna be now?" And she's like, he has his stubble growing in. She's like, "You look like Penn Badgley."
What the?
Joe Goldberg from
Yeah.
You,
Is that
Gossip
his is
Girl.
that his name?
Yeah, Penn Badgley.
Oh, okay, okay.
And I was just dying because I had thought that because as of late he's got like
Yeah.
the curly hair and the like either beard or
Yeah,
stubble
it's
going.
because his hair is so shaggy right now.
Hmm. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I was just dying because I'm like, yes, I see it. I
Yep.
agree. But I was cracking up because he can never not get compared to someone.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, so apparently I'm with Joe Goldberg. That's
Ooh,
not a good
beware.
thing.
Love, is that you? Oh no.
No, no. But yeah, Joe aside and his haunted experiences, we're on to Gabby Gill, a Gettysburg
Gabby
senior.
Gill.
Gabby Gill.
Back
She
on now with Gabby Gill.
right.
Oh,
Oh,
so
what is it?
stupid.
It's like there's like an American Dad clip going around where like there's this
Hmm.
chick and she's like a big old jerk and like she does something
Uh-huh.
really jerky and she just goes, "Jenny," because that's her name.
Oh my
So
God.
I just think I was just like, Jenny. She's like, Gabby.
So stupid.
Anyways, so Gabby Gill, a Gettysburg
Hmm.
senior, also had a spooky experience during her freshman year in Hoover Hall. She
Hmm.
says, I woke up one night to a pressure on my chest and I heard someone dragging across the floor.
Oh no.
Ugh. I closed my eyes, and when I opened them, every single item on me and my roommate's desk had been thrown onto the floor.
No.
So very poltergeisty.
Yeah.
And this was from the article in the Gettysburgian. They say, strangely enough, both Gil and Joe lived in the same room on the third floor of Huber Hall their freshman year. So basically, this Joe guy had his
Hmm.
experience his freshman year, and then she moved in after the fact, and she had her experience in the same room, same area, everything. So like they stayed
Uh,
in the same room different times. Isn't that
uh-uh.
crazy?
So
Don't
gross.
shame we don't
I
know
don't
what
like it.
room it is to, absolutely avoid it.
I know, seriously.
Yeah, so
They're like, we're
Hooper
not going to
Hall.
disclose that.
Dude, watch like someone listening because it's what is it? It's like August right now. Someone listening is about to go into their freshman year at this college and they're just gonna be like, ah, shit. They're gonna get assigned Huber Hall. They're gonna be like, fuck, or
Uh,
Huber Hall. I'm not sure which it is.
yeah.
But yeah, so the
Well,
most
good luck.
Right, have fun. I hope you're listening to this out loud in that room to see what happens.
Woohoo. Get yourself an EMF.
Oh my gosh, you can't have mine. But yeah, so the most terrifying ghost encounter that Joe, we're still on Joe, Joe has ever experienced, however, occurred on 520 Carlisle Street, an off-campus house overlooking the battlefield that was built in the 1920s. So, fun bonus story of the house next, like nearby. He says, in the middle of the night, I felt something brushing against my feet incessantly, he
Oh
said.
no.
You
No,
know how
that's
we
like
all love
nightmare.
feet.
Hate that.
When I opened my eyes, I saw three black silhouettes shining lights on us. When
Nope.
I when I opened when I opened my eyes, one of them was shining a light on me, and when I sat up, all three left the room. In the morning, my friends said they felt arms around them, but they
Oh
didn't
no.
open their eyes. So I'm
Uh-uh.
like, are you sure someone didn't just like break in? Because that's pretty creepy. Unless it was like, back to Civil War lantern situation, like
Hell no.
creepy. But yeah, so, you know, creepy shadow figures. They could have been aliens with the lights. I'm just
Let's
saying.
not go there. I don't know what's worse. They're both pretty bad.
But yeah, so although some may dismiss Joe's story as a dream, recent graduate Cassin Suter, now that sounds like a fake name,
What is it?
who Cassin Suter. So
Wait, how do you spell that?
Cassin, Cassin, and then their last name
I was
is
gonna say, is it
Sutter,
Kason?
Cason Suter, either
But
way,
with
or
two
Sutter.
S's?
It's two, yeah. So I'm
Hmm.
like
I don't know.
Cason or Cassin, Suter or Sutter, because it's Sutor.
Wait, what? S-U?
Sutor. So it's either Sutter or Sutor, like Suter. I'm not sure
Suitor.
which.
Hmm.
Or more Sutor. I know, I don't say my T's. But yeah,
Sutor.
either way, Cass and Kaysen resided in the same house at a different point and was like told like, "Hey, do you think Joe's story is true?" And he's like, "Without a doubt, he believes it
Hmm?
100%." And he stayed at the house. So
Yeah.
I I'm with Cass
Ugh.
and Kaysen over here.
Cass and Kason.
Cass and Kaysen, that's his
Ugh.
new name. But yeah,
Yeah.
and then Cass and Kaysen says, I regularly heard noises in the middle of the night between 12 a.m. and 4 a.m., usually a knocking sound.
Ew. No, thank
Horrible.
you.
Dude, that was me with Vegas. We stayed at the Horseshoe. Never again, not because of haunted reasons, but because it was just like, I think I
Not
was
it.
allergic to like the bed sheets or something. My nose got stuffy immediately once I got in the bed. Like it was very
Mm-mm.
strange and like just horrible. And the room was nice. That was my only problem with it. But anyways, at one point in like at the night, one of the nights, I don't know if it was the air conditioner being really loud or what, but it almost sounded like the door handle jiggling
Oh.
and like footsteps. But I couldn't tell if it because the air conditioner was really loud and rattly too. Because like
Hmm.
it used to be Bally's, it's an old hotel. But like so I'm like, I think it was the AC and I was just being paranoid, but it really sounded like and I hated it. I could not
Ugh.
sleep. That it happened random. That too, it happened randomly because it didn't happen the first night, it happened the second night. So I was just like,
Mm.
I don't like that. Anyway.
They're like, let's scope these people out.
All right. But yeah, so usually a knocking sound. And sophomore football player Danny Thompson was not aware that he had come in very close contact with a ghost until he saw it for himself on tape, videotape. How do you know this is a
What?
little older? Yeah, he says, my coaches pulled me to their office and asked me how I was feeling in practice the day before, he said. I told them I felt awful. My head was pounding, I couldn't see straight, and my legs hurt. What they said next was something I will never forget. That's because you had a ghost inside you, Danny. They just
Ew, no, they didn't. What?
and why would they word it like that? There's a
Yeah.
ghost inside you, son. Inside you.
Ooh.
Fucking Sarah Marshall, forgetting Sarah Marshall status with the
Ah.
song. What is it? Inside of you.
Oh, that's so disturbing. I mean, it's kind of funny the fact that they're like just so used to it that the professor or
hmm
the coaches, whatever, they're just like, oh yeah, like
There's a ghost.
casually, there's a ghost inside you.
Like they said it so matter of fact. I kind of love it. They're so used to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so in practice film from the preceding day, Thompson is seen running with the football when out of nowhere a white, misty, circular image appears to fly out of his head and across the screen. And that's why they said there was a ghost because they saw it literally
Ew.
leave him.
It was literally his soul leaving
Yeah.
his body. I'm just
All
kidding. It was
right.
another soul leaving his body.
Oof. And mind you, he said his head
Yeah.
hurt and it came out of his head.
Yeah.
So
Oh
creepy.
no.
And then Danny goes on to say, if I hadn't seen the film, I wouldn't have believed it. But I did feel exceptionally weird that day at practice. And if it wasn't a ghost, then I have no clue what it could have been. I mean, it wouldn't be surprising considering this school is built where so many people died in the Civil War, says Thompson, which I'm like, yeah, your football field was literally a battlefield. So
Yeah.
easy, easy.
Maybe they thought him running was like he was running into the war. Maybe they
hmm
thought he was like one of the other soldiers.
Yeah, like they decided to join him.
Yeah.
Eee?
Ew. They're just gross.
Yes. So now we're moving on to Devil's Den, a hill
Oh,
with,
great.
yes, a hill with boulders that was used by Civil War artillery and infantry, and the spot of some of the most gruesome fighting in the battle. It's considered an extremely haunted destination that only the very brave choose to explore. Like
Should we go there?
Getty's, honestly,
Yeah, we should go there.
Airbnb in that house that they mentioned.
Ooh, yes.
I'm not sleeping. Anyway, I'm like, not that night. But yeah, like you could do so many different episodes on so many different parts of Gettysburg because the whole place is just haunted. But
Yep.
yeah, so Jason Lamoureux, a Gettysburg senior, was skeptical of the ghostly tales and undertook an adventure to Devil's Den. He says, so me and my four friends decided to walk to Devil's Den one spring night at 2 a.m. because of course. When we got there, we were climbing on boulders and taking pictures exploring. When I was taking a picture, my phone shut off out of nowhere, even though it was at 50% charged.
Mm.
I love that it was 50%. It was at 50. Should have been fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's 5%. That's different.
hmm Then my friend showed us a picture he had taken, and it resembled a ghostly image of a man on a horse. So the
Oh,
ghost killed one phone, probably to show up on the other phone. I don't know. Needless to say, Lamoureux is no longer skeptical of ghost stories. He's like, okay, I believe them
I guess I
now.
believe it.
Yeah. In Ghosts and Haunts of the Civil War, Christopher Coleman describes an apparition that was seen near Devil's Den during battle. An apparition which had turned the tide of the battle in favor of the Federal forces. The troops, it was said, beheld a pale rider in their midst. So that was like
Oh,
an old legend of when the Civil War was actually going on. So that's a weird one.
interesting.
And that was at Devil's Den where they got a pale rider, you know. So they're
Oh,
like, yeah, so
that was Jasper.
that was Jasper.
That was Jasper.
This is a horse of a killer, Bella. But yeah, so Lamoureux, you good? That was such a delayed laugh.
It's because it's not as it's so stupid. I did
Mm.
not expect it to be as funny as like the more I thought about it, the more it made me laugh. I'm sorry. So
Were you
stupid.
were you picturing a pale, sparkly horse? Because I sure was.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah. With its hooves like spreading open its shirt.
Oh God. See, I wasn't expecting that, but now I am.
Anyways,
Oh.
So Lamoureux and his friends believe that the image in their picture is the Phantom Rider, aka Jasper Cullen, that Coleman
Hmm.
described.
Yep.
S- So, some students around campus are eager to experience paranormal activity, but others are like, no, thank you. Um, to be honest, I almost didn't come to Gettysburg because it's known to be so haunted, said Gettysburg sophomore Mary Cessio. As it
Mm,
turns out, the ghosts have not been a problem for her. Uh, and that college also gets, I guess, a lot of tourists. So
hmm.
she's more like she's saying ghost tours go through the campus almost every night. It's really annoying and distracting sometimes. So she's never
Yeah.
seen a ghost and the EMF. She's never seen a ghost and like, you know, she's just annoyed by all the ghost tour people. So she'd be really annoyed if we were there, you know?
Mm, I get it. So we should still go. I'm just kidding.
Right?
We'll go
And
during like
then
the summer or something.
honestly, I wonder if it's hot. Is it hot? Because if it's hot, maybe not. I don't know.
And you said this was Pennsylvania, right?
Pennsylvania, yeah. It's like I wonder how their
Yes, it gets
summers
hot.
are.
It's hot, but not as bad or what, like from what I remember, it wasn't
Mm.
as hot as um not as hot as New York. So I remember that was
Ooh.
like I was I was all over like the East Coast, like for what was
Hmm.
it? Was it 2 weeks? I don't even remember. But it was all in the middle of like late June, early July, somewhere around there, where it's like hot.
Mm.
I think it was New York was the most humid, then Washington, then Boston, then Pennsylvania
Okay, that's not bad.
in
Okay,
that
but
order,
like
like from hottest to least hot.
you hear that Pennsylvania, you're not that hot. I'm just kidding.
No, it was actually really nice there. It
I
was
know,
very
I was
breezy, lots of trees and stuff.
Ooh. See, I was thinking fall in Pennsylvania must look really pretty though, because their leaves
Hmm.
actually change colors. Oh my God.
Yeah. Um, Honestly, I was gonna look it up after, but I'm pretty sure I went to this college because as you're like
Ooh.
describing it, I'm like, it sounds so familiar because I remember I went somewhere and there were like cannons there. So I'm pretty sure we
I
might
mean,
have.
if you guys were in Gettysburg, there's a very good chance because apparently this college is right by the battlefield, so that would make sense.
Hmm. Yeah. I remember I bought like this is how long I've been like so into like ghost stories and stuff. The one item that I brought back home was literally ghost stories from the East
Gettysburg?
Coast or something like
Or
that. There was
oh.
like something in it was that area specifically, and I don't remember where it was. That's why I was like, was it there? But it was literally like a little black book. It was probably like that
Hmm.
thick. And it was just like filled with ghost stories. And I thought it was like so cool. I read it the whole like I read it on the bus when I was going from like town to town. I read it on the airplane. I read it when I got back home. I have no idea where that book went, but I read the whole thing like probably 4 times.
Books like to disappear. I had
Hmm.
a little dream journal that I got when this house still had the old owner's stuff like in boxes and stuff, and it was like a little dream journal
Hmm.
from like the 70s.
Oh,
And it disappeared on me. So I'm like, rude. But anyways,
I know.
um,
I often
mhm.
think about that book and I'm like, I wonder what happened, but I don't remember where I got it from. So I couldn't even like, if I typed in like ghost book from the East Coast, like I probably get
Oh, you'll get
300
millions
suggestions.
of
Yeah.
suggestions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll end it off with two little comments from Reddit r/paranormal.
Mm,
The thread was just asking about like, oh, have y'all experienced any of this? And user
hmm.
Cold 170 says, I went to Gettysburg College, which is right in the middle of the battlefields. In fact, one of the buildings was used as a hospital, and you could still see bullet holes in the walls. So there's still fucking bullet holes there.
Dang. They didn't even
That's
try to like patch them up or
crazy.
anything.
They're
They're
like,
just
it's
like, this is
history.
history.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly. God damn it. At least I'm safe inside my mind.
I was trying not to choke. Oh
Yeah,
my
please
God.
don't. I don't want to record your death on camera, please. Though it would
But it
make
would be
for,
so great.
I was gonna say it would make for great content, but we don't need
Right.
to go viral like that.
No, 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 no.
Is it then there's just gonna be a Ouija board behind me and that's how you're gonna join in
Oh
as
gosh.
co-host?
Yes. That would take
But
forever.
oh my God, right. Ooh, a spirit box though it'd be annoying because it'd be going like the whole time.
Yeah.
But anyways.
No, let's not do that.
But yeah, so there's still bullet holes. And then they say, can confirm there are spirits slash ghosts slash weird encounters experienced often around here. I have way too many stories. And then they proceeded to not tell any of the stories. So that's fun. And
I hate when
then
they do that.
right. And then user help me up please commented.
God.
Yeah, right. They commented, I went there for a time too. I had a personal encounter in the theater. And I lived in the Civil War house for a time, so that same house, I guess it's just a house that is part of the college. I didn't have
Yeah.
any issues there on the ground floor, but several housemates had issues with water faucets turning on by themselves and the like. I also had a friend in the corner cottage. It was crazy in there, lights turning on and off by themselves all the time. So
Fun.
beware. You're just no matter where you go there, you're gonna be haunted. You're gonna see
Yep.
a ghost. But yeah, that's
Fun.
Gettysburg College and its many, 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 many ghosts and encounters.
Nice.
And now I drink.
And now you drink. Dang, dude. That's crazy. I
Right?
kind of want to go, unless
It's
I was
so
already
full.
there.
We can do a trip.
I have to look this up like immediately.
Go for it.
It's just Gettysburg College.
Gettysburg College, yes. It's like I mean it's got 2,600 students, so I don't know how big it is.
Hold on. Was I here? This looks super familiar. I can't be quite
Hmm.
sure because I mean, all East Coast colleges look very similar to me. But
Burn.
actually,
No.
no, I, hmm, I don't think so.
Hmm.
I'm gonna have to figure out where I went then because I'm super curious.
The mystery.
I know. I'm just gonna be looking up like colleges on the East Coast and then go picture to picture to picture. So I figure it
Well,
out.
if you know it was in Massachusetts, that should somewhat near Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania. Well,
Pennsylvania.
you know why I was thinking Massachusetts? Because I was th gonna say, I'm like, oh, we should totally go visit Salem, Massachusetts, and then go. That being said, I'm not a geographer. I don't know how close together they are,
No,
so
I don't think they're that far apart. I mean, we took a bus
probably not.
from spot to spot, so it shouldn't be that far.
Ah, fair, fair, fair.
So if you guys listen to my solo episode, I covered um well, I didn't even say where I went, but I covered basically the college that I went to in Colorado, which is the University of Northern Colorado, located in Greeley. And this is like Northern Colorado, I mean, obviously, but like close to the border. I think it's maybe like an hour and a half from the border.
Hmm.
Um, but uh initially I didn't want to tell you guys where I went because I wasn't really sure. Like, I don't want to give them, you know, a bad rep or anything, or just kind of what's the word for it?
Besmirch their name. I don't know.
I
Or
guess,
like
yeah.
make claims that would scare people off or something, or like that the college
Yeah,
might get mad at.
exactly. But then upon further research, I was not the only person, and it seems
Huh.
that they are very
Haunted.
yeah, they're really haunted and they own it. They're just like, let us tell you about all of our ghosts.
Wow. Are you
So,
mad that they didn't tell you while you were there?
so it's so funny because there's actually one that I had forgotten about that someone did tell me about.
Mm.
And as I was researching, I was like, wait, I remember that. Okay, so I stayed in, or actually, super quick history. All I have is like two lines. It was originally, it was founded as a teachers' college in 1889.
Ooh, also
Um,
1800s.
hmm and yeah, that literally that's all I have because I was like, I'm
Wow.
not gonna get into the history because there's just so much.
Mm.
There is no time. But yeah, I stayed in Turner Hall and I think when everything happened, I was on the sixth floor. Initially, I was actually on the 10th floor, but then moved down when I switched rooms. Uh, which I actually thought it was really funny because a lot of the stuff that happened was on the 10th floor.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to get into my story because you have to listen to this whole episode, obviously. But,
Mm.
um, yeah, so this was in 1988. A summer assistant named Brad Shade, what a name, was going room to room, making sure all the students had gone away for the summer. He's chilling on the 10th floor, and I'm assuming he's in a five-person suite, same as I, because of what ended up happening. So he steps into the room and he hears like a door slam shut. And he's like, the fuck? So he's like, hello, calling in, checking to see who's in there. No answer. So he's like, okay. Walks in and hears five doors slamming, just like one after the other.
Oh
And then he's
God.
like, yep, nope, I'm done for the night. So he just like, nope the fuck out of
Bye.
there and left. Um, so yeah, that was room 1005 or 1005, whatever. It's on the 10th floor. Um, And then the next one is it's also in Turner Hall, and this one is called Stony Ghosty, which is the one that I did remember after the fact.
What a cute
So,
name.
right? So he's been around for a while. Um, Apparently people will get like the scent of like a tobacco-y kind of like
Ooh.
weed smelling odor.
Oh,
Um,
interesting.
And the story behind him is basically that he was a student who sadly overdosed on drugs.
Oh,
And, when he passed, he just left behind his scent. And whenever
interesting.
he comes back to visit the students, you can kind of smell his aroma.
I wonder
Um,
if that was low key some students' excuses as to why the room already smelled like that. No, it wasn't me. It wasn't me, I swear.
yeah, exactly. And somebody does mention it after. I think there was like a student, I don't know what year, so I couldn't really look it up. It didn't say. Um, but a student who had like some experience with Stony Ghosty,
Hmm.
um, wrote a story about it in her folklore class, which made it into a book called Haunted Halls. Oh, I guess that is a book.
Oh,
I just don't know when it came out. So Haunted Halls. Um, and yeah, since
whoa.
that's come out,
Side
what?
note,
Did it
no,
start
because
blinking?
it went to, I think it went to yellow or red for a split second there.
I saw
So,
it in like my peripherals, but I thought it was the recording, the numbers over here that I like was
no, it
moving.
just blunk.
Well,
Well.
um, yeah, but since then the room was actually converted into a student lounge. All the walls and the furniture was replaced, so the odor has supposedly gone away.
Hmm.
So if you're there and you smell something, it's probably just somebody having a good time, lighting it up in their room
Or
and
is
not
it? No.
actually, yeah, up to you
Mm,
to decide.
it
Um,
wasn't me.
it was not me. It was a one-armed man. And by the way, almost all of these stories came out in the um I don't think I wrote down what it was called, but it was basically the school's paper. So somebody wrote all of these stories. These are not my stories,
Hmm.
obviously. Um, okay, so the next one is Harrison Hall, which, if I remember correctly, was um the dorm right next to mine, like right across the way. And this one, people claim that there was once a janitor who was working in the basement, and he went to take the trash out to a bin which was sitting under a garbage chute. And I guess someone dropped a brick through it, hitting
Oh,
his head and killing him.
oh no.
Um, I like how I put verify if possible, like in parentheses. I forgot to. But yeah, who knows? We don't know if this is true or not. That's just like the story. Um, but there's been people who've taken Ouija boards down to the basement in an
Wow. Of
attempt to contact
course.
him. Yeah. There was a group of students who went and they tried to contact the janitor and they asked like, "Oh, is the janitor with us?" And they replied, "YES."
Oh my
And
God. Isn't there a yes on the Ouija board already
well,
though?
yeah, so this is weird because they literally typed out YES, but then they asked if he had a message for them, and then he said out, and then they put out as like one word. I'm like, shouldn't
Oh,
it have been backwards?
maybe the
Or is there
Ouija
an
board
out on the Ouija board?
there could be in like in and out instead of a yes and no or something like that.
Um, Interesting.
The ghost
Who
is
knows?
in.
Yeah, but yeah, so
Hmm.
they saw the out and they freaked out and they all just ran away.
As you do.
But the shoe is still there. They just like nobody's allowed to use it, and they claim
Hmm.
that it's unrelated to the janitor
Wow.
story. The same guy from earlier, Brad Shade, claims that it was just dangerous for the students to use, which fair, people are throwing bricks through it.
Hmm.
But yeah, that one, it's up to you to decide whether or not it's true. But I'm just going to mention that there's a bunch of other ghosts, like a ghost in Gray Hall that likes to stack chairs, and George
Eee.
who slams doors in Belford Hall.
Lovely.
But not to be confused with the other guy in Turner Hall who also slams doors,
Oh,
unless it is him and he's just walking around slamming
floating
doors all over the
around.
campus. Okay, so I'm going to move on
Hmm.
and I'm going to tell you about Edith. So
Ooh.
Edith is well known I don't know how to say this. I think it's Wibe King. It's Wieb King. Wibe
Vibe
King,
King?
maybe. Or
Weeb
Weeb
King?
King. I don't know. I think Wibe King sounds
It
better.
sounds,
So I'm
yeah,
gonna
it
say
sounds
that.
nicer.
So the students that are staying in Wibe King and Wilson are pretty familiar with her. And her
Hmm.
story is that she was an RA known for being shy and awkward. She was made to be the butt of the jokes, like all the time.
Mean.
And on April Fool's Day, someone went into her room and took out all her furniture.
Rude.
Yeah, so really mean. They would say that she would go into the attic and play with marbles, dropping them and letting them roll on the floor.
Hmm.
Um, and if you remember, my story, it always sounded like there was
Hmm.
rolling on the floor. And I was like, it sounded like a marble, but bigger than a marble. So
Ooh.
I don't know. People like playing with marbles up there, I guess.
They're
Or
losing their marbles.
yeah. Um, Sadly, during spring break when everybody was gone, she went into the attic and hung herself.
Oof.
Yeah. So the White King dorm, is said to have been named after Edith Gale White King, who was the
Mm.
director of student housing. She was not the one who died.
No.
And there's no history of an RA named Edith, who hung themselves there. So
Mm.
it could be someone just nicknamed the spirit Edith after, the
Hmm.
person who like named the
Made the
place
dorm,
or
yeah.
whatever. Um, so again, we don't know if this story is real or not, but it's like well known in those
Hmm.
dorms, basically. Um, but regardless, people have claimed to hear that they hear like what sounds like marbles up in the attic. And they also say that she messes with people's furniture and also turns TVs on and off. So she's just like,
Wow.
fuck you guys. This is what you get for fucking with me.
Right. She said it's
Um,
quiet hours. Turn off your TV. I don't
right?
know.
In the Sabin home, there's a ghost named Dr. Florence Sabin, I don't know.
These names today.
Sabin. Seriously. Dr. Florence. So the dorm was also named after her. She was the first woman to graduate from Johns Hopkins University and has received several national awards.
Damn.
Um, Students claimed that the hauntings actually began after her painting disappeared. So I
Hmm.
guess like they had her painting hung up in the hall and someone stole it, I guess. It just
Wow.
disappeared. And then after that, like shit started happening. Um, People claim to hear the floor creaking and rattling and doors opening. Um, and then moving on in the central campus dining hall, Toby Kendall, there was a murder
A
committed in the basement.
murder.
Dude, everything
Ooh,
is in the basement. So many
right?
things going on in
The
the basement
Civil
today.
War hospital was in the basement,
I was
apparently.
about to say, I was like, it's like this is the theme of today's episode, just basement killings
Basements.
and basement ghosts.
Oh my.
Um, yeah, so oop, there goes my ear again. Okay,
I just picture
where was
like
I?
Mr. Potato Head ear, you know?
Yeah, literally my ear's falling out. The director of dining services, who's been working there for over 20 years,
Oh wow.
says that when they're alone in the building at night, you can hear noises upstairs. It sounds like someone is having a party, but when he goes up to check, nobody is there.
Ooh, so
Ooh.
spooky.
I know. I think that is probably like the worst like
Mm-hmm.
thing that could like occur. Like if you're
Mm-hmm.
just closing up shop or something and then it sounds like a party going on upstairs.
Yeah.
Like that's intense. And then
It's
just
also
nothing.
it's also very like classic haunting because I feel like you hear that a lot
Yeah.
too, where you it's like, oh, it
Yeah.
sounds like chaos, and then you go and there's nothing.
hmm It's weird. Weird, weird, weird. Okay. Then there's Crab Hall. People have heard children whispering.
Oh, I hate it.
And then the last one I have for this college is the Missioner Library. I actually spent a lot of time in there.
Ooh,
I did my orientation and my registering at this library too.
nice. How long was
It
your orientation? Because I know those can get
uh
lengthy.
like hours.
Yeah,
I
it's
remember
so
we had to
annoying.
take a break. It was probably like a 4 hour thing. I think we did 2 hours break and then 2 hours.
Mm,
It
yeah,
was long.
I know the Cal Poly one is something along the lines of that, maybe even a little
Mhm.
more because I remember I was supposed to show up at like I want to say 8, and then it was supposed to go on till like 2 or 3 or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
But
You know what's crazy that I still remember so like it's so clear. I don't remember anything about the orientation except for um like they were talking about basically the most requested jobs from like a scale to like, most requested and like over this span of years, like they're always gonna need that. And I
mhm.
remember that universe or this university is like I don't know if it still is, but it was pretty well recognized for having a good nursing program.
Oh.
And even then, I was like, I was like, if I wasn't going into like music, I'd probably do nursing.
Interesting.
And that's like the only thing I remember about the
Mm,
orientation there. I don't remember anything
nice.
else except thinking that. And now I'm like, in retrospect.
No, I remember the main thing I took away from that orientation. They made a foolish mistake. They had registering for classes at the beginning, and then you do
Oh,
lunch, and then they have other stuff after that. But
hmm
technically, you only have to stay until you're done registering for classes, and then you can just leave. So I left early.
oh,
I'm like, screw you guys, because there was still like 3 more hours after, and they were just
oh
gonna be like,
no.
and it's like I'm transferring, so I don't have any questions about anything. And I remember someone asked the like, I don't know, person in charge of our little group, and they're like, do we have to stay for this? And she's like, well, technically no, but we're giving away a free parking pass or something. And I'm
Oh
just
God.
me and one other girl just looked at each other like, should we leave? And then we just left. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm not fucking saying just for them to like I believe it was supposed to be like a mixer to get to know people and stuff. And I'm like, I'm not I sound like a reality TV show person. I'm not here to make friends.
You know what? We had the same thing. They passed out ice cream because it was really
Yeah,
fucking hot.
it was ice cream.
Yeah, they passed out ice cream. Everybody got ice cream. I remember they were gonna do like a movie outside, like in the projectors and stuff like that. And we were all walking out, and I don't know who I was with. I want to say it was Brittany. Brittany, I highly doubt you listen to this, but if you do, what up, girl? I remember going into like the campus center or whatever.
Mm.
And that's actually where I met Ash and like the girls from the sorority. And it
Nice.
was just like instant like connection. We just all started talking and then we went out for Italian food. Like
Yum.
I just like went with these people that I had never met before. They were like, "Hey,
Hmm.
jump in my car. Let's go eat Italian like
You're
30
like,
minutes away."
okay.
And I was like, "Sure."
I mean, that's how it be. No, for
Yeah.
me, it was very, like I already have my friends. I live down the street. Like I don't need to do a mix. All these kids are like
Hmm.
18 and I'm over here all older. I'm just like, I'm out. I got a job to
Yeah,
go to and shit.
I know. And that was like it's funny because that was us trying to get away from like the whole mixer get to know people.
Nice. It
And I
worked.
ended up meeting like the people who like I was friends with the entire time I spent in Colorado.
Nice.
But anyway, so Missioner Library. Um where was I? Okay, so people report seeing shadows and hearing weird noises in the basement.
Of course.
Um and then a story from both a student and employee. I guess they were a student, then now work at UNC. And it is from just 2 years ago. So March 11th, 2022, submitted at 3:28 a.m.
Lovely.
I work at Missioner Library on UNC's campus. I was in the basement working where we keep some books and journals in storage. I was adjusting a book on a shelf when several feet down from me, another book shot out of its spot. A few moments later, the same thing happened in another area of the basement. I was alone both times, and only staff and student workers are allowed down there. Other
Ooh,
coworkers won't go down there in the basement alone, and every time I go down there, even before I saw the bug shoot out, I feel unnerved and scared for no reason, even if I'm with
gross.
another coworker. My sister has a professor in the art department who said that he has had lights turn on and off repeatedly in Crab Hall until he said, "Stop it, ghost."
Until he said, Nosferatu. No.
Yeah, literally. And Crab Hall is where you hear children whispering. So I don't know if it's the kids kind of
Gross.
messing with the lights or what, but
I
creepy.
hate it either way.
Yup. But that's it for UNC. Um, so if you guys are going in, if anyone's
Hmm.
new going into UNC, just stay away from Turner, I would say. I feel like there's a
Right.
lot going on in there.
If you're
But
going into
everywhere on
Cal,
campus, clearly.
right. If you're going into Cal Poly, after you register for classes, you can go home.
Period. So I am covering Wells Hall as well. This is on the East Coast. Um, I like how I put this is on the East Coast and totally forgot to put where where
Yeah, I'm like,
exactly it
which
is.
college?
Uh, Shoot. I want to say it's upstate New York, I think,
Ooh.
if I'm not mistaken. But it was so crazy because I looked this college up and I was in the middle of looking up all the ghosties and stuff. Um, Only to find out that the college fucking closed
Oh.
like just like recently.
Oh shoot.
Yeah, and it was kind of like a big deal, like it was all over the
Mm.
news and stuff because um they didn't really tell the teachers or the students that they were closing.
That's
They
messed
just kind of
up.
were like, we're closing. They claimed it was for financial strain. um so if you're a student at Wells or a former student, sorry, that really fucking
Damn.
sucks. I think a lot of them already started working on transferring all that stuff. So,
Mm. That's
but
messed up.
I know it kind of sucked because I was trying to like, um, I looked up on TikTok first, like West
Mm.
College ghosts, and all that came up was literally students, doing like all these TikToks, like, oh, like when finals are canceled because your school shut down.
Mm. That should mean like automatic A for everybody for their classes,
Yeah,
honestly. Like
seriously.
imagine that was your
Um,
last semester before you
yeah.
graduate. That's so shitty.
Dude, there was this whole article about like this girl, and I'm like, of course they'd focus on one girl who's I'm
Hmm.
not even gonna get into that. But she was like, oh my God, this is like the second college that closed down on her.
What?
Yeah. And she's like, it's okay. Me and a group of other friends, like this happened to us too. So we're all going to the same school. I'm like,
Wow.
fuck, dude, that sucks.
No one's gonna
Um,
accept her anymore. Their college is gonna close down.
they're like, you're a bad omen. You're just
Right.
carrying around bad luck. No, yeah, it sucks. But anyways, really sucks. Um, oh, I wanted to mention this because I thought it was kind of stupid but funny, but like fucked up. So they had a statue of so it's basically a statue of Athena,
Oh.
and they called her Minerva. And I'm like,
Oh.
why would you do that? Like Athena is like the Greek goddess, Minerva
Mm-hmm.
is like her Roman adaptation. Like, why not just call her Athena? Why would you call
Mm-hmm.
a Greek goddess Minerva? That's like, I don't know, it seems kind of like,
Yeah. So you're
is
just
it an
trying to piss off
oxymoron?
both.
Right? Um, and to make it worse, I guess they like had arranged for her to be transported somewhere else because she was like a gift from one of the founders or something like that.
Mm.
And one of the employees basically took it upon themselves to transport her themselves,
Okay.
and they fucking didn't have the right equipment, and she
Oh.
was beheaded. Yeah.
That person is cursed.
Yeah.
They're cursed. They're
Ah,
dead. They're
todas
dead
las
now.
lágrimas. It sucks.
Mm-mm. They're about to
Yeah.
get beheaded too. Damn.
Yeah. I feel like that was just like the end all to everything. It's just
Oof.
like that last
The
fucking thing. Like it is official now. And what's worse is that a lot of people, students and faculty and alumni, whatever,
mm.
they all like took her to be this symbol of good luck. So I feel
Oh.
like that just makes it so much worse,
Like
like so
there
much
goes
worse.
your luck.
Yeah, there was this whole thing with I know like whatever article I read, I don't know. There was a mom who was like, "Oh, it's so sad. I would always like bring my daughter here when she was a little girl and like taught her how like we kiss her feet or whatever for good luck,
Mm.
whatever." I'm like, "Damn, that sucks. It sucks for the like
Mm-hmm.
all the alumni. It sucks for everybody." But anyway, let me tell you about the ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um, so the first one that comes, oh, and this one is like all of these stories are literally all from the college's website. So
Mm.
they are kind
Wow.
of in the same way. They claim they're ghosts and they're like, we have ghosts here. Let's
Mm-hmm.
tell you about all of them. Ah, I'm just gonna take this one off. It's kissing me off. Okay, so Max is a security guard or was a security guard. Many years ago, there was a fire in the building where Morgan Hall now stands. A security guard trying to get everyone out of the building was forced to push some students down the stairs. All of them made it out of the building, but unfortunately, he did not. Sometimes students feel a push from behind when descending the stairs of Morgan. It is the ghostly security guard, Max, still
Wow.
trying to save them from the fire.
Trust me, I'm trying to save you. Pushes you downstairs.
Like aggressively shoving you down the stairs. Can you imagine that though? Like you're
That's
just walking and you feel like
scary.
someone shoved you. God, I
I'm
would
clum
probably trip.
right? I'm like, I'm clumsy on stairs as it is. I don't need a
Yeah.
push.
And then my dumb ass would probably be like, I just tripped on air. Like, that was
Right.
just me. I'm so clumsy. Haha. Silly me. Okay. Another security guard. One year, a political science major was studying in the library of Morgan Hall. It was very late when she finished, so she called the security for an escort back to her dorm. Even before she could turn her head, security had arrived. That was fast, she said, but she didn't receive an answer. Instead, the security guard approached her and proceeded to her utter disbelief to walk right through her.
Oof.
Oh, excuse me. He disappeared, never to be seen again. She, however, did not fare so well. She refused to set foot in Morgan Hall ever again.
Yeah,
I
that's
guess it
fair.
like really spooked her. I mean, it's nighttime. She's there by
Hmm.
herself. Like,
You can't trust security anymore.
mm-mm. She's like, fuck that shit. I'm not going back there. Okay. Once there was a very bright student who was doing a great deal of scientific research, often
Mm.
working in Zabriskie Hall late into the night. Her professor was very pleased with her work and gave her a lot of attention. This also pleased the student until she found out he was stealing her work and publishing it as his own.
Wow.
Right? What a bitch. One night, the professor visited her while she was working. She confronted him with her knowledge of his theft. He panicked and stabbed her to death,
Wow.
leaving the knife embedded in her lifeless body.
Never trust a man.
Seriously. To this day, every now and then, students who study in Zabriskie late into the night may be approached by a student who asks, "Would you please pull this knife out of my back?"
Ew.
If you pull the knife out, she will try to kill you with it.
What? But you helped her.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe she's just like, fuck you, everybody's gonna die because I died
Right.
here. So it is called The Frightened Roommate.
Oh no.
All of these have like the silliest names. It's so funny. Okay. At one point, Pettibone House, located on the southern edge of campus, was a senior dormitory. All the rooms were connected in order to bring the seniors closer together before graduation. One particular friendship among three seniors proved to be stronger than death itself. The two friends, let's call them Amy and Joe, had returned from
Not
spring break and
Joe,
were
he's
unpacked.
back. Did he transfer
Right?
from Gettysburg?
Oh no. So Amy and Joe had returned from their spring break and were unpacking when a third, let's call her Beth, returned. After they had been talking for a while, Amy and Joe realized Beth was troubled by something. They asked her what was bothering her, and Beth said she was afraid that they would lose touch after graduation. Her friends hugged her and told her she was being silly. They would keep in touch and never forget her. Reassured, Beth told her friends she was going to go visit Meg, another friend down the hall. When Beth didn't return after many hours, the two friends went to find her. Meg said Beth had never been to visit her at all. A little later, all the three women were called into the dean's office and told that their friend Beth had been killed in a car accident on the way back to Wells. She had never arrived to the school.
Wow.
I
That's so
know.
sad.
I know. That one, like, I think that one was the first one that gave me chills when I was reading this. I was like,
Mm-hmm. Right? If you're in a mood, you could just cry about it, you know?
yeah. I feel like that could be like really extended into a book, like a really good
Mm-hmm.
book, and
That
that
would
would
make a
just be like,
great plot twist.
mm-hmm. Okay. Oop, I lost my spot. Where was I? Okay. So the ghost of Mrs. Wells. Mrs. Wells seems to come up a lot, kind of
Mm.
around. So I'll only tell like her main story right now. In the early days of the college, Henry Wells was having an affair with a young woman living with the Pettibones of Pettibone House. Some
Wow.
people have some people have it that his mistress was Mrs. Pettibone. Others that the lady in question was a secretary who was boarding there. Whoever she was, Mrs. Wells discovered the affair, and one dark night she slipped out of Glen Park across the bridge and struck out towards Pettibone. She came upon her husband's mistress at the place of their assignation,
Hmm.
assignation.
I'm
And
not
with the knife
sure.
she brought for the purpose, she viciously stabbed the other woman to
Another
death.
stabbing.
So much stabbing.
I stabbed.
Beware on dark nights if you cross the bridge in front of Glen Park. If you are on the bridge and one of the lights goes out, don't look back, for you may see the
Ooh.
ghost of Mrs. Wells with wrath in her eye and a knife in her hand, seeking the woman with whom her husband betrayed her. She might mistake
Ew.
you for her victim.
Again, they're just trying to stab you.
I know, so aggressive. So I don't know if this is a typo. It was a typo. So they spelled it red, like read,
Mm.
Reade, but it's
Mm.
red. So the red door. During one particularly snowy, cold, and harsh winter, the Wells College campus was hit by a terrible epidemic of influenza. A large number of the students fell ill, and the weather prevented them from leaving campus. A small hospital was set up on the fourth floor of college's main building, now a dormitory. The sick students were quarantined, and a number of kind nurses stood watch over them, doing everything possible to ease their suffering. There's a lot of parallels in our stories. I'm
Hmm.
just
Yeah,
noticing.
right.
Um, Unfortunately, many of the students died, and there was no place to store their bodies in the dead of winter. A room on the same floor was made into a temporary morgue, and the bodies were kept there until families
Oh,
could make funeral arrangements.
oh.
The door to this
Yeah,
room was painted.
very Gettysburg. They were left out
Yeah,
until they could make the proper arrangements.
piles of corpses everywhere.
Ew.
Jeez,
You know,
so
the
bad.
EMF was blinking for that, so that's fun.
They're like, I remember that.
I was there.
The door
Oh,
into this room was painted red so that no one would accidentally. What? Did it blink again?
it went to yellow. Oh,
I
it's going nuts right now.
oh God. Yep, it did not like that.
Yep.
I'm sorry. I meant no offense.
No, when we said I was
Sorry.
there, it's just like I think it was like yes, I was or something. I'm like, yeah, yeah, it agreed. Uh-oh. Are you there? Okay.
Oh my God. You were cutting off a lot while you were trying to say that.
Yeah, the internet just crapped out on me for a minute there too.
It's messing with our internet.
Interesting. Not my
Okay.
internet. Let's change the subject.
Okay. So the door to the morgue was painted red so that no one would accidentally wander into the resting place. After
Hmm.
the after the epidemic, the door was repainted and the fourth floor was made habitable again. Within few weeks, the red paint bled through the other color as a testimonial to what had happened to the women who had died. Um, and in case I didn't mention it earlier, because I don't think I did, this used to be like a women's only college.
Yeah.
Um,
I've heard
because the main
of the
building,
college.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Um, because the main building was or has been decorated since, no one knows which fourth floor room served as the morgue. The location, however, is the subject of great speculation. Many brave first year students have been known to wander the fourth floor looking for signs of red paint.
Mm,
I don't know why you would go looking for this used to be
right?
morgue,
Just for spooky
but
reasons, I guess. But yeah,
just to see if you can spot a ghost or something.
the EMF really liked that story. Just saying.
I don't like that. Okay, I'm gonna skip a few more here. There are so many, so
Mm,
many. If you guys like are interested in it, just go to Wells College Ghost Stories. You'll find the whole page there. I'm gonna skip to basically the other story following the red door.
hmm
It's kind of like a variation of that story. Um, there was another epidemic that was far worse than the first. Main building's third and fourth floors were again converted into an infirmary, and more nurses were called in to assist. Once again, the nurses could do nothing but comfort the sick women. Then a catastrophe hit. A fire broke out in the hall.
Oh,
The nurses risked their lives to save the quarantined students, but many of the nurses themselves died in the fire.
oh
To this
no.
day, students who are sick in main building claim to have people who are sick in main building claim to have had their temperatures and pulses taken by these angels of mercy who also have been known to stroke their hair of sleeping residents.
Ew. I don't like that.
Hmm. Me either.
I just picture like the nurses from Silent Hill or something. Like, ooh.
Yeah, let's skip to that. Okay, so there was a whole Facebook thread.
Mhm.
The school posted something and like a lot of people started like just sending in their stuff. So Um, yeah. So Dominica W. I'm gonna not say their whole names just in case,
Mhm.
you know. Um, Wells College Association of Alumni and or yeah, alumni. I ran what? Sorry, this was worded super weird.
Mhm.
I ran the baking club and was finishing something up in Macmillan. It was nearly 2 a.m. and I think I was baking for an event the next day. But I told everyone to go back to their dorms because it was nearly 2 a.m. and they looked tired. Um, I was almost done, so I just decided to finish everything myself. I left my book bag in the AER that's next to the kitchen so I could grab my laptop charger. I look across the room and I see a lamp on and I just sigh. Like it happens all the time. So I just shout over to it, telling it to knock it off because I'm not
Mhm.
going to deal with it tonight. Anyone who's in the AER is obligated to help me bake. I also tell it to turn the light off at least when they leave so I don't have to do it. I'm packing up like half an hour later and grabbing my bag. The lights go off across the room and just sarcastically thank it for helping me and I leave with my baked goods. It happened a lot, so at this point it's just clockwork. I know I was in I don't know what that is,
Mhm.
because they had already come through to lock the doors.
I assume like
And the only
campus police maybe or something.
yeah, I think so. And the only door open was the one to the kitchen. So just a little ghosty fucking with the lights.
Hmm.
Um Melaine L says, I saw more ghosts at Wells in 4 years than my non-Wells years combined.
Wow.
Wells College Associate, which makes me wonder, like, where else did you see ghosts?
True.
Um, Wells College, or you know what it is? That's the beginning of the thread, I think.
Mm.
Um, Only a few creepy vibes in Mac. Most experiences were in Maine, all floors, including basement and pack, par back parlors, Jesus,
Mm.
and Schwartz. I had all the street lights go off while walking the path behind Weld Towers, Weld towards Campbell, and heard a giggle. It was close to
Ew.
10:30 p.m. on a Sunday.
Gross.
Um, Christine S. OMG, the Ouija board experiences. I once had a spirit talk to me on the Ouija board in Weld. 2 weeks later, while visiting a friend at Ithaca College, some people were playing with the Ouija board in the lounge. One of them asked if a Christine was there. I said, I'm Christine. And they said, oh, so and so says hello. The
Oh,
spirit followed
interesting.
me.
Oh,
I
God.
never touched the Ouija board again after that. I never will. Ever. Um, Okay, Elio McCabe says, when you go to the dean in charge of housing, and he matter of fact says, your RA already told me about your particular situation and everything you've done so far to try to take care of it.
Hmm.
Let's just see if we can find you a quieter room. So I guess they were trying to move rooms because of some shit going on.
Yeah.
And someone responded to this comment and said, uh, it was in Maine fourth floor, right? And he simply responded, yes.
Wow.
So I think Maine was where all the nurses and stuff were at.
Mm.
Um, let's see. This is also in Maine. This is from Linda. She says, I've heard voices in my room at Maine when I lived on the fourth floor. Also, we took an ID picture in the old building behind Maine once, and someone random appeared in the picture after it was developed.
Gross.
Um, yeah. Leslie B. I saw an unexplainable light on the fourth floor in Maine. There were
Aliens.
a few people through it, and there were like so many I didn't write down the names, but there were a lot of
Mm.
people who were saying that they had strange dreams while dorming in Maine.
Ew.
So yeah. Um, mm, oh, I didn't get to it. There was like a whole story about a mad typist. I guess there was some like student who was like really strung out and like panicking because they had like a final left or something and they were
Mm.
like type all night. And supposedly you can still hear the typing at night.
Oh, good.
So Colleen says, love these ghost stories. As a freshman living in Dodge, I was woken up by someone typing. I searched all the floors but could never find the source. In the morning, when I told my RA, she almost fell over. Then she told me the story of the mad typist. We were both freaked out.
Ew.
Let's see. And somebody else, Ellie Beavers. Last year, I lived in Dodge. Every night at 4 a.m., I would hear typing. I would look over to my roommate to see her passed out. I knew the mad typist was a true story, but I didn't expect it to live in my room.
Mm.
Also, didn't mention this. The the mad typist girl, her roommates were basically like, "You're really stressed out. How about we go out? You know, get you to
Oh.
relax." Um, I think they got hit on the way back or on the way going. She died. So
That's so bad. I
sorry.
was gonna say maybe it only gets like stressed students, like the typing noises, but then she
Yeah,
died. So I
she
don't know.
died. So poor thing. She never turned in her paper, and she was so stressed out for nothing.
Wow. Honestly, right? I could see maybe that's what happened to the mad typist. I don't know. Like he was so
Yeah.
stressed and then like yeah.
Ah, poor thing. Um, and this is the last one. Jenna W. Responding to Ellie. OMG, the first night I was there, a bunch of my stuff somehow fell off of the bookshelf, and the wind wasn't even strong enough to have knocked it all off.
Hmm.
So I guess I don't know if it was within the comments, but I'm pretty sure it was like the same room.
Oh, okay, I
Yeah,
see.
yeah,
Gross.
yeah.
So
But
many
that's it.
stories.
so many stories,
Wow.
but
And I thought I
dang,
had a lot.
there were so many, and there were
Uh,
still so many that I didn't tell. I cut off a lot. So
mm-hmm.
again, if you guys are interested, I'm pretty
Mm-hmm.
sure they're pretty easy to find. So Wells College and University of Northern Colorado. Look up
Nice.
ghosts and it'll surely come up.
For sure.
Hmm.
Dude, the EMF cutting our
I know. I
internet was
was just looking at it.
crazy.
I'm like, I don't like that.
It's been like spotty. Nothing
Yeah.
too crazy other than that moment, I guess.
Yeah. It
Proof we're
was
not
really like
lying about it.
creepy.
Yeah, so I guess check out the YouTube if you want to see that.
Oh, yeah. Mm-mm-mm.
Mm.
Well, I was really, really entertained with these. Hopefully, I don't have
Hmm.
nightmares
Oh
or
no.
strange dreams.
Strange dreams, whatever that means. My
Strange
dreams are
dreams,
always
right?
strange.
True. I'm assuming they're kind of like in connection to like stuff that went down
Yeah, like
there.
maybe
Maybe they're
maybe you get
dreaming of nurses.
stabbed or something. Oh, you're like nurses. I'm like, you get stabbed.
I know. Well, this was in Maine, like the one where the mortuary and the
Ah,
nurses and all the sick people, the
mhm.
infirmary and all that stuff happened.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, probably
Imagine you're
nurses.
like dreaming you have influenza and there's just like nurses, you wake up and you feel someone just stroking your hair.
Oh,
Ugh.
good. I don't like that.
Nope. No, thank you.
But yeah,
But
thank you for listening.
mhm, if you made it
Uh,
this far.
yes, don't forget to text Lizzie a foot emoji.
I forgot about that. Well,
But anyways, you can
if you
catch
know, you
us,
know.
right. You can catch us on YouTube, Paranormal Plunge, or Paranormal Plunge at Gmail if you want to send us a story. Paranormal
Hmm.
Plunge Pod on TikTok and Instagram if you want to do that fun stuff.
Yep. I'm
But
excited to see what
yeah,
pictures you choose for the Instagram.
I will let you know. I don't know. I'm probably gonna have to ask you the name of your colleges again because I know I will forget. At least for the second one.
Yeah, that's okay.
Poor
Alrighty.
Athena,
Well,
Minerva.
what?
Poor Athena slash Minerva.
Oh, I know.
But,
Hopefully they don't get bad luck.
right. But anyways, see you next time.
See you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.